inventory. I have a couple of houses that I'm going to be listing in my pipeline. I'm sending out expireds, make me move in Zillow, for sale by owner letters. I have nothing. I have buyers. I took out a buyer yesterday that I've been working with, and the house was listed for 24 hours, received multiple offers. We have an offer in with an escalation clause. I have nothing. Nothing.
So let me, have you been in open houses?
Let me make this louder. Okay, it's the loudest I can go.
Have you been doing open houses?
No.
Okay, so if you can, like, ask agents in the office if you can hold their houses open, you're always going to get new clients. Always, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's no place you're going to get buyers and sellers coming to you more than an open house. So you have to really, especially if you do them the way we talked about, because it maximizes that open house's potential to get more people through.
Right. So in our area, a lot of the open houses are in rural communities. So it's not like it's a busy street like you were saying.
Okay. Now, do you have areas around you where there are in like major cities?
I could look. Yeah.
So look at those too. I mean, you don't have to do them in rural areas because rural areas are tough anyway to get people to come through regardless. But if you can find agents who have open houses that are in busier areas, those are the ones I would target.
There was an open house that an agent in my office did on Sunday. It was her listing, and it was in a good area. Like, she didn't want to give up the open house. And she's been doing an open house like the last 2 Sundays. It's a hot area.
Oh yeah, because she knows the benefits of doing it because she's getting new people through, and you know, and here's the thing is in the seller's market that we're in, it's a really high competitive world, right? And it's mainly, you know, you're not really competing against experienced agents. We take them off the equation. It's all these new agents that keep hitting the market because they hear, oh my God, I can make so much money right now, and real estate's easy and fun, but they don't know all the back end of what goes into it. But they get a house on the market, it sells right away, and they think, oh my God, this is so easy. They're the ones who are taking all this extra business from us because they're the ones cutting commissions. They're the ones doing everything that is causing all this crazy havoc, right?
Yeah.
So we're competing against them. So experienced agents are losing business to brand new agents because brand new agents don't know any better. They don't know that they can actually stick to their guns and get a full 6 or 7% commission. So today we're going to talk about how to do for sale by owners properly.
I can't hear you. I don't know why I can't hear you. You're like muffled. Now you're frozen. Are you frozen now? I'm trying to make this louder. Like, I hear you, but it's low. I'm at like 100%. Okay.
Maybe try earphones.
Yeah, my kids took them. My daughter took them on the bus.
So we're going to talk about for sale by owners today, how to do them properly.
Okay.
That's going to be a big one. It's not just sending letters. But you can tell me a little bit more about what else you're doing or not doing right now to get new business.
Okay, so today it's the beginning of the month, so I'm going to start reaching out to my database like we talked about, my past clients, asking for referrals. I'm checking in with my buyers, my A and B buyers. And then I told you that I've been taking a lot of time going back into the MLS. I have like 4 pages of expireds from like 3 or 4 years ago, and I'm scrubbing that list. Reaching out to FSBOs, Make Me Moves on Zillow, and staying in contact with the 3 sellers that I'm going to be listing their house with, hopefully in the next couple of weeks.
Okay. So
I'm going on appointments with buyers. We're looking at houses, but we're getting outbidded.
Okay. So outbids.
Yes.
let's look at things different ways with offers.
Okay.
When you're getting outbid,
Yep.
tell me a little bit about the strength of the offer that you are putting in first.
Okay, so the buyers that I'm working with are they're approved for conventional financing. They do not have to sell anything in order to purchase.
Okay.
They have at least 10% to put down.
Okay.
We are doing the escalation clause and capping at like 10,000 above asking. Just because the houses, they're not going to appraise if we go higher than that. There's no way in hell they're going to appraise. I know this area.
Yeah, but you if it doesn't appraise, the price should always drop, right?
The price can drop, the seller can come down, buyer can come up with extra money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, if the buyer they keep losing it because they're capping out 10,000, that means their cap is too low, right? That's the only thing you can really put in there. It's money talks. You gotta remember.
Worth it.
I know, but if they keep losing,
yeah,
then just go up. Just remember for the buyer, if it doesn't appraise for this, you don't have to buy it.
Right, but how do I convince my buyers, especially my first-time buyers, when I'm giving them these comps, how do I justify this astronomical price to them? You know, they don't want to get robbed either. And they don't want to be out the home inspection fee and the appraisal fee.
I know. So here's what I tell them. I said, here's the options I give them. We can continue doing it the way we are. And then one day you hope that you just find the right house and you don't get outbid, right?
Right.
Or you take sometimes you got to take risks to get reward, right? So does the risk outweigh the reward, or does reward outweigh the risk? The risk is, yes, you could spend money on the appraisal, you could spend money on a home inspection for the seller to not drop the price if it doesn't appraise for the value. Right. But I always say, I'm going to also remind the seller, hey, your house was only listed for this, right? So you're getting what you listed for it, Mr. Seller.
Right.
Right. Well, the next guy they'll say, well, the next guy below you offered this. Who cares what they offered? It's just, in the end, it just matters what their price is for, right?
Mm-hmm.
I had one where we bid at $20,000 over. It came in $9,000 below what we offered.
Mm-hmm.
So it dropped the price instantly.
Okay.
You know, the seller saved me. Sent them an appraisal. We were already, you got to remember, they're already 3 weeks into the process, or 3.5 weeks into the process when the appraisal comes in, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times those sellers already went out and tried to buy a house. Got an offer in the house themselves. They're not going to lose the offer.
Yeah, or sometimes the seller says, well, just if you want this house, come up. Like they'll put something in the contract that if the house doesn't appraise, then the buyer's responsible to make up the difference.
Then you don't have to accept that. Don't have to accept that offer, right? I would counter and take it out. Like, no, if it doesn't appraise, we drop to the appraised value, as long as the appraised value is not below what you listed for.
Okay.
And that's what I would do, because it still needs to appraise. I get those clauses all the time, and I counter and take them out.
Okay.
And they accept it in the end.
Okay.
Or next option is stop looking at just houses in the MLS.
Mm-hmm.
You know, look at the areas that your buyers are looking in. Right?
Yeah.
You can send out a letter to those people in the neighborhood, or you can do a post on Facebook, hopefully targeting people in the neighborhood. I think the letter will go further, saying, I have a pre-approved buyer who is looking in your neighborhood. We've looked at potential inventory, but there's nothing else that's available. This is what you're looking for. If you have this type of house, would you be interested in possibly selling your home without it ever hitting the market to my buyers? And if you send it out to a bunch of people in that neighborhood, there's a lot of times you can find a seller who's willing to do that. I sold 2 houses that way to buyers.
Can you send me a copy of your letter?
Yeah, it's a Jared James letter. I'll send it. I'll send it to you. These are the exact same letters Jared uses.
All right, I'll do that today because I've been targeting some markets. I two people on Facebook reached out to me. I belong to some kind of community group, and they were looking for realtors, and about 10 people referred me. So then I private messaged them, and they were like, "We're thinking of selling. We're going to contact you in a few weeks."
Okay.
Not ready yet.
Perfect. And those are the ones you're staying in contact with, right?
I haven't talked to them in about a week.
Okay. When you get people who are that way, always make sure you then put it on your schedule just to check in. Say, hey, I just wanted to give you this, or I want to see how you're doing. Is there anything I can anything I can do to help you? Maybe give you some advice, whatever it might be. Stay in constant contact with those.
Every week?
Yeah, always. Don't, because you lose out on opportunities if you just sit back and wait.
Okay.
Even though, we're ready in a couple of weeks or we're ready in a month, but you don't contact them in that couple of weeks or a month, they tend to forget, right? Not like their intention is to diss you or anything like that. It's just life goes on, and then somebody else stand up talking to another agent, and that agent strikes, right, and gets under contract. That's where the missed opportunities come in. Don't allow that to happen.
Okay. I'll reach out to them today. They didn't give me their contact information. I just private messaged them. Yeah, that's how we
private message and say, hey, I just want to reach out to you real quick, check and see how you're doing. By the way, was wondering if maybe I can actually get you can even ask them if it's possible to get their email and phone number so you can continue to follow up with them.
You broke up. Say that again.
You can ask them if it's okay if they're willing to give their email, phone number so you can continue to follow up with them. Okay. As soon as they told me that they're thinking that they're going to contact me in a couple of weeks, I would say, fantastic. What's your email and phone number so I can put you in my database so we can get everything prepared? I'll send you over I'll send you over my prepping your home guide, right? If you don't have one, I'll send you mine. It's how to prep your home for sale. A full guide that walks them step by step. What's your email so I can send it over to you?
You send that to them PDF, like an attachment?
Yeah, exactly. I have it as PDF document. I send it over to them, how to prep your home for sale. It takes them step by step on how to get their home ready.
What program did you create that in? Word?
Yep, I created in Word and I just turned it into a PDF.
Okay. Yes, please. If you can send that over to me, then I'll do that. My buyer handbooks are done. They're going to get printed out. I'll have them in about 2 weeks. So that's all done.
Awesome. Good. And then your buyer's handbook, now you'll have something to physically give every single buyer that you meet with.
Yes.
Which is fantastic because then you can have tons of them at your open houses as well.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a great thing. If you ever do open houses in the first-time buyer home, I'll tell you right now, first-time home buyers are the easiest to convert.
Yeah.
And especially in an open house.
Yeah.
And this is a very powerful question that helps them get them under attachment. Because nobody does this. They tell you you're having a conversation with them. They say, "Yep, this is our first time looking at houses. We've never owned a home before." Right? And you're like, "Oh my God, this is an exciting time." Let me ask you: has anybody taken the time to sit down with you and educate you about the whole buying process and how it all works?
That's good. I'm writing it down.
Not one agent ever asked that question. Has anybody taken the time to educate you, sit down with you and educate you on how the buying process works? And they're most likely going to say no. Okay. And I usually have that, oh my God, really? I can't believe that. Tell you what, here's what I'll do. How about we schedule a day at my office? We can do tomorrow between this time and this time, or this time and this time. We'll actually sit down together. We'll go over my buying guide. We'll get a copy then. And I'll walk you through and educate you on the entire process so you're very well informed moving through this.
I'm meeting brand new buyers in my office this morning. I'll say that. I'll ask them that.
And I convert more first-time home buyers at open houses than like anybody in the area. Of a simple question. because nobody wants to educate them.
They just want to make a sale.
Exactly. That's the biggest issue with most agents in this industry. That's all they think about is just making a sale.
Yeah.
Yes, the goal is to make money and feed yourself, right?
Yes.
But if you do it in a way of compassion and education and truly caring, and like my tagline now is helping buyers and sellers, right, through the act of kindness.
That's nice.
Right. You're going to get more people, right? Because you're doing something that nobody else is doing.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's about the attraction.
Right.
People are going to be like, yeah, I like her. She really shows she cares. Imagine that anybody you talk to, they have a big sign on their chest.
Mm-hmm.
You know what that sign says?
What?
Make us feel important.
Yeah.
So envision that every time you're talking to them, that's what they're wearing on their chest. Make us feel important.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The more you do that, you'll be turning people over at open houses, people you're talking to on Facebook Messenger, people you're door knocking, for sale by owners you're calling, expired listings.
Mm-hmm.
They'll attract you and you'll start converting more. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. So you're contacting Make Me Move sellers. Now, tell me a little bit about what you're doing with those.
Right now, I'm just mailing them letters. Like I'm trying to mail them something every week. Just staying in front of them.
Now, when you look at those Make Me Move, can you look at the details and see if those Make Me Moves match any of the criteria of any of the buyers you're working with?
Yeah. Maybe a couple, maybe like one or two, but the other ones, no.
Okay. So the ones that are couldn't meet the potential needs of some of your buyers, I would be picking up the phone and say, hey, I have a buyer who may potentially like to see your house. Can I schedule a showing?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Get in the door. Because then if your buyer looks at the house and they like it, you got a sale. If they don't, I would be following up with them after that showing to let them know the feedback of the buyer. Right? Hey, yep. Thank you so much for yesterday or earlier today for allowing me and my buyer to come through, take a look at your house. We really did appreciate that. I just want to give you a quick call to inform you of the buyer's decision and what they thought about the property, so you're well informed. And I just talked to them a little bit about the feedback, and then just listen to what they have to say.
When do you talk commission?
Well, if the buyers end up liking the house, I just built the commission into the offer, right? So let's say I do a Make Me Move, and the buyer likes the house, I'm going to usually just try to figure out a way to roll 3% into the offer. Seller to pay 3% on behalf of the buyer, or sometimes I'll just raise the price by 3%. Like let's say the commission's like $5,000, we might just go up $5,000 on the offer, so it's all rolled in, whatever it might be. Creative options, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay. But you're not initially speaking of commission when you're wanting to make the appointment.
No, exactly. Because when I don't want that to be the focus of the conversation. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I want the focus of the conversation to be, hey, I have a buyer who may be interested in purchasing your home if they like it.
See, in the past, when I've contacted FSBOs and I've gotten the appointments, before I even brought my buyer, I would have them sign an agreement that they're going to pay me a commission. Because they can go behind my back and steal my buyer. There's nothing in writing.
Well, if your buyers are loyal and you trust your buyers, their buyers are not going to do it. Your buyers are not. It's not like the for sale by owners got your buyer's phone number to call them, right?
Yeah, but I'm sure they could. Yeah.
It's not like the for sale by owner is going to just suddenly call your buyer, hey, kick your agent. It doesn't happen, right?
I don't trust anybody, but I see what you're saying.
Yeah. And And I wouldn't go into everything with the lack of trust because that will start to show.
Okay.
Right? If you have a strong belief that your buyers are loyal and that you're a great agent, that you know what you do is the right thing to do, and they're going to be with you no matter what. You just got to trust that process. Will you ever have unloyal people? Absolutely. Everybody does. You can't avoid it. It's just when we're working as many people as we work with, we're always going to run into that prick who just thinks they can do whatever they want.
Right.
But you know what? We just roll them off the shoulder and just say, "Hey, I don't chase commissions. Commissions chase me."
Right? I hear you.
So I always think about that. I don't chase commissions. Commissions chase me.
Right.
Okay, so you're starting to reach out to your database, which I like. You're following up with your B's and C's. You're following up with your B's and C's, and you're having that conversation with them just to kind of check and see how they're doing. Don't be afraid to ask them. Say, hey, just really quick, out of curiosity, who do you know who is also thinking about buying or selling in the next couple months? I always say, who do you know who? I don't say, do you know anybody who's looking to buy or sell? Because you don't want that to be a yes/no question.
Okay.
Who do you know who's looking to buy or sell real estate in the next couple months is I have to think question now, right?
Right.
And sometimes I might give them a couple options to help jog your memory. I say, it could be a neighbor of yours, could be a friend, maybe a family member, or even a coworker. Oh yeah, actually, you know what? I heard at work. I've been hearing this guy John. He's been talking about our house.
And if they say they don't know anybody?
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much. I do appreciate that. But I'll talk to you in a couple weeks when I check in with you again.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're doing proper follow-up with them and you're building rapport with them and they're liking you and they love hearing from you, they'll give you referrals if they know somebody. I've got the referrals off of people I haven't shown a house yet before, all the time, just because you constantly are educating them and helping them and answering their questions when they have questions at any moment. And they have no problem helping me as well, just because I'm helping them.
Okay.
Remember, showing kindness.
Right.
Okay. Contacting, making move sellers. Anything else you're doing?
No.
Okay. Okay, so expireds. What are you doing with them? Are you just
I just printed out a 4-page list of houses that expired. Like I think 2015 I went back. I got to scrub that list. There was a lot.
Okay. Now, and then what are you going to do with the expireds? Are you going to send them a letter? Or?
Yes.
Do you have anything where you can try to get those people's phone numbers?
I could try to find the numbers, yeah.
Because if you can get their phone number, I would also try contacting them by phone. You get simple script, calling them on the phone. Hey, my name's Charles over at Acre Realty. Just give me a call. I noticed that your home list was listed in the MLS about a year ago, and it had expired. I was wondering, out of curiosity, why you feel your home didn't sell, and why you didn't relist at that time. And I just listened to what they have to say. And they'll tell you a handful of reasons, right? They'll talk about how they thought their agent was crap and didn't do any marketing. You'll hear it all, right? That's when I say, Mr. Seller, I appreciate you telling me all that information. From what I see, it looks like it was a fantastic home, so it's very hard for me to believe it didn't sell. But are you aware that home prices have increased 6% since last year? They're like, really? Wow, that's a lot of money. Well, lack of inventory right now, there's not enough supply to handle demand. So the prices have been increasing because of that. So it's really no better time to sell your home than now, because you're going to get the most bang for your buck. Would you be offended if I do stop by your house tomorrow between 4 and 6 p.m. to do a quick, consultation? Would you show you what I do to get home sold and update you on what your house might be worth?
Would you be offended if I stop by
tomorrow between like 4 and 6 p.m.?
Yeah.
Whatever time works best for you. I can show you what I do differently to market homes and give you an update on what your house may be worth in today's market.
Okay.
The average 50% of expireds do not relist their home for at least 6 months.
For 6 months?
Half of all expired listings do not relist their home for at least 6 months. Which is why I always tell students to go back 6 months to 2 years back.
So I shouldn't go back that far. I should go back
6 months to 2 years.
Okay.
Back.
All right, I'll fix that.
Just because the great thing about that, you don't have as much competition almost anymore. Because most agents, the life cycle of an expired listing for an agent on follow-up is 2 times.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. After the second time trying to reach out, they stop.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Mm-hmm. Going after brand new ones, the reason why I try to tell a lot of students don't do brand new ones is they're probably getting 30 to 50 postcards and phone calls.
Right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Let those go. They're chasing the commission, right?
That's right.
And those expireds that are expiring right now, they're brand new. There's usually bigger issues with those ones, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you can't sell if you cannot sell your house in today's market, I guarantee you most of the issues with the expired listing themselves.
Yeah, it's priced too high or something's wrong with the house.
And they're going to continue to stay unreasonable.
Right.
So you end up doing a lot of work competing with a bunch of agents who are chasing commission, who are going to undercut you, who are going to overprice you. Mm-hmm. And you spend a lot of money and time, effort on these things that everybody's trying to get when you can go 6 months or 2 years back and nobody is not. Maybe you might have one other agent who's out there doing the same thing.
Right.
You have no other true competition.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What you have to say. All right. Ready for sale by owners?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. You see the screen?
Yes.
So the goal of contacting for sale by owner is not to list their house over the phone, right? This is what most agents do. We are taught to try to list for sale by owners over the phone, lie to them, do whatever we need to do to get in the door and try to list your house, right? That's the way they teach it in schools and the old school way of doing for sale by owners, right?
Yes.
So our goal is to get an appointment to view the property so we can meet them in person and increase the chances of listing your house when they decide to use a realtor, right? Which the majority of for sale by owners do. Typically, it's 80%. In a seller's market, it's probably closer to 50. Still half of for sale by owners are going to list with an agent right now, right? Even in today's market. So if we look at what does for sale by owner stand for, visible, fastest, shortest business opportunity. So our goal is to disrupt their pattern of the way they expect us to open up a conversation. Most agents open up the kind of, hi, this is Charles Robbins over at Acre Realty. Would you co-broker if I had a buyer? Or I have a buyer who's interested in your home. Could I stop? Same shit that we hear over and over again, right?
That's right.
So now we're opening up with, hi, is this the owner with the home for sale? Now that's a disruption, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, we never have opened up a conversation like that before, right?
Right.
They're going to say, yes, excellent. This is Charles from Acre Realty. Who am I speaking with, right? My name is Tony. How can I help you? Hi, Tony. I saw your house for sale on Zillow, because most of the time that's where you're going to find it, right? How much are you asking for the house? Yes, we can see the price of the home on Zillow, but we still ask the question anyway. Because it opens up the door, because the chances they are going to respond with, can't you see the price on Zillow, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's a great opportunity to joke about how inaccurate prices can be online, right? So you just you can say, Mr. Seller, you can't believe everything you find online. Have you ever gotten this estimate?
Mm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And the great thing about that is 90% of sellers, that's where they got their price from.
Yeah.
Right? Zestimate, the inaccuracy of Zestimates. So now if that's where they got their pricing, now you're going to have them questioning their price in their head, right?
Right.
So now they're going to say, well, it's 799,000, right? Why? Do you have a buyer? Now most agents are going to lie and say, yes, I do have a buyer. That's what we're not going to do. We're going to strike by saying, I might, but I'm not sure. I haven't seen your property in person yet. As an expert in the area, I pride myself on knowing all potential inventory for my clients, which includes your home. I'm actually going to be in your area tomorrow around 4 p.m. Would you be offended? We love would you be offended, because if they say no, that's a yes, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I take a brief tour of your house. Now, remember, there's a thing that we've already there's a seed we planted that you need to see their house before you can determine if you have a buyer for it.
Mm-hmm.
But most for sale by owners are going to counter by saying, I'm not listing my house. I'm not working with agents.
Mm-hmm.
Usually then we're going to say, I totally understand. That's not what I'm asking you to do. I just want to take a quick tour through the house. Who knows? I may be able to give you some inside marketing tips to help you make your house more sellable. Like I said, I plan on being in your area tomorrow anyway around 4 p.m. Does that work for you? Right? And they'll say, yes, finally. That's fine.
Mm.
Now, we don't stop there. Let's continue to break down their walls, make them feel less threatened by us, right?
Okay.
Because at this point, even though they said yes, that should be fine, they're still like, oh, this salesman, right? We want to try to continue to eliminate that thought in their brain. So we'll say, perfect. What's a good email I can use? I've got something I'm going to send over to you that's going to help me with previewing your house, right? Now note that email, all it's going to be, the thing about that email is now you have their email to follow up with them. You can put in your database for follow up. But all you're going to put in that email, what is the top 3 selling points about your house, and what are the 3 biggest challenges for a buyer will be, right?
Do you have that form or?
No, I just write that in the email, Mr. and Mr. Seller. What are the 3 biggest challenges the buyer will have when they walk to your house, or what are the top 3 selling points? Just reply to this email with the list of those questions. It's not a form; it's just an email, right? And they just reply back, and they'll tell you. Almost all of them do, right?
3 biggest challenges buyer will have when they walk through the house, and the 3 best.
The script, so you'll have it today.
Okay.
So you don't have to write that down. It's right here in the script. You can just still have it, right?
Oh, I see it. Thank you.
Yep. And they'll say, okay, here's my email. Now you got their email address. You put in your database to follow up with them, right? Okay, I'll see you tomorrow at 4 p.m. Now, most agents, they tell the seller, hey, I just want to preview the house, right? They go to the house, and the first thing that's out of their mouth, they start talking about listing it. Why is that a mistake?
Because it shows that you just want to list the house. You're being too salesy. You don't have that compassion with them, right?
Exactly.
You're not making them feel like you care.
Exactly. The goal is to go in there and protect, and actually show them that you truly do care about helping them, right?
Yep.
And it's not just about you. What does it make them feel important, right? And the biggest thing is, if you go in there and try to list their house, you're going to lose their trust, right? And once you lost their trust, your chances of ever getting back with that for sale by owner have pretty much diminished, right?
Yes.
So unless they bring it up, do not talk about listing your home at all. Don't bring it up, period. Because we do not want to lose your trust. Because remember, we do know the large majority of them are going to eventually list what a realtor. We want to be one of those options, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
and I mentioned to them with this particular FSBO that I have in mind that I sold his neighbor's house down the road.
What is that again?
This one FSBO that I'm trying to get, I sold his neighbor's house. He lives right down the road from him. Should I mention that or no?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You can say, hey, yeah, like I sold your neighbor's house down the street. You can mention it, but you're not saying it. I'm not bringing this up to try to list your house. I'm just bringing it up so you know that, what your price could or could not be, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so because our goal is to make sure we can continue to build trust. So the whole time you're in the house, you're just building rapport with them, right?
Yeah.
Build rapport. When you see your top 3 selling points, make a huge deal about them, right? Because if they feel if they feel those points are strong enough, you gotta be just as strong with them as well, right?
Yes.
So be excited about them, and just look for that common denominator, something that you can connect with them to kind of keep building an instant bond with them, right?
Right.
So after you preview the house, here's the most powerful point of getting in the house and seeing their home, right? Is getting permission to now follow up with them every single week to call them. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, if you're going to try to sell your home yourself, it's very important you know about every single comparable property that comes up on the market will be considered your competition by prospective buyers. Now, remember, when it comes to their competition, it doesn't need to be 100% comparable, right? Because buyers don't look at homes in that way to say, oh, 3-bedroom to 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom to 2-bathroom, right? They just look at, hey, this house here is 300, this is 300. What am I getting different between the houses, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I would say the more you know about these properties, the better off you're going to be trying to sell your home. Would you be offended if I call you every single week just to make you aware of any property that comes up so I can bring it to your attention?
Mm-hmm.
Right? You think any seller in their right mind is going to say no to that question?
Yeah.
Now you've created the expectation you're following up with them every week or so.
Right.
But now you have a reason why you're calling them.
That's right.
So make sure you always find a property near that comparable home at least once a week and following up consistently until they're ready to let a professional do the job.
Yeah, but the problem is we don't have that here. The inventory, I'm telling you, it's really low.
Our inventory is real low as well.
Okay.
It is. Ours is just as low, but are we still listing for sale by owners? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But the consistency in the follow. It doesn't matter if the inventory is low. There's always going to be a new property for sale every single week.
Yeah. Okay. Right?
So even if it's 3 blocks away or 2 miles away, buyers are still looking at that and using it as a potential. If it's anywhere near similar to what their price range is, there's a hard 90% chance that buyer's looking at that home as well. Right?
Yeah.
So now you're calling them every single week.
Mm-hmm.
Checking with them, right? Then go, hey, John, Charles here. Just wanted to give you a quick call, follow up with you. New property just hit the market yesterday, actually. I want to tell you a little bit about it. Just some details about the home, right?
Mm-hmm.
By the way, how's everything going? The sale of your home. Have you any potential interest? Buyers come through, right? The goal is to listen for, let them talk, listen for frustrations.
Mm-hmm.
Because eventually they're going to say, I've heard some of the comments say here. Well, I actually I left work a couple of days early this week to show the house, and the buyers didn't show up. Or the buyers showed up and they walked out right away and didn't write an offer or show no interest. Or I held an open house and nobody came through. We've now been in the market for 2 months with very low activity, right? Frustration starts to come out. Mm-hmm. Well, Mr. Miller, I can relieve all the stress that you're going through right now. Let's schedule an appointment, sit down, and I can show you what I can do to get you consulted. Now, if you're talking to them, they're like, everything's going fantastic. We got buyers coming through. We're very confident this home's going to sell soon. I'm not going to talk about listing their house, right?
Yeah.
I will follow up with you next week if any other new properties hit the market to make you aware of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you wait for them to get frustrated and call you, you'll lose opportunities. So that's why you got to ask them how their sales going, because if they tell you it's poorly and they're getting tired of doing this on their own, you ask for the appointment.
Mm-hmm.
Because the agent that asks for the appointment first wins.
Yeah.
Right? Now, by doing this weekly follow-up, are you guaranteed to get every single for sale by owner listed that you talk to? No.
Right.
But at least it gives you more options, right? Or at least it makes you an option to every last one of them when they do decide to list. So even if they're interviewing 2 or 3 different realtors, at least you're one of the options they're interviewing as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, if you're following up with 10 for sale by owners per week, let's say 5 of them do sell on their own, so at least 5 more, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of those 5, if you can list 2 of them, that's well worth it, right?
It is. Yeah.
But you got to keep that for sale by owner list growing, right?
Right.
You can't just have 10 and say, okay, I got 10, I'm not going to work with anymore. You're going to just keep adding to it and adding to it and adding to it. Make me moves, those are for sale by owners.
Mm-hmm.
They're just thinking, make me moves are just thinking, they're at the early stages of thinking about selling their home, right?
Mm-hmm.
Go do the same thing. Build relationships like same way with them. Hey, I need to see your home, right? See if it meets any potential buyers I'm working with.
Mm-hmm.
And just keep growing that list. You put them in your database, right?
Right.
Tag them list for sale by owner. You put it on your calendar. Then Friday or every Friday, you get in your calendar. Call all visibles to give them a comparable property.
Right. You got it.
You'll convert more.
Yeah. A lot of work.
And the more you practice it now, as we start to stabilize and we start seeing more sellers come on the market, and for sale by owners start to get tougher and tougher to sell their home by their own, we'll start to list more and more of those as well, because then there'll be a lot more for sale by owners available. That number will start going back higher to 80% won't sell.
Yeah.
Definitely get that crafted and comfortable with that script, because if you do it, visibles are successful.
Okay, I'll practice.
How are you doing on video?
I did. We had our grand opening for our Marlboro office on Thursday, and I did a Facebook Live video, and it was worse than the first one I did, which made me like the first one better. So, yeah, I still don't like it. I hate it, actually.
But you know what? If you go and look how many people watched the video.
Either 2 something or 3 something. I don't look at it back. Like it comes up in my feed and like I'll just scroll past it.
Okay, so 200 or 300 possible people watched the video.
Yes.
Okay. Did anybody react negatively to that video? No.
No.
So why are you so worried?
Yeah. I'm just not ready for everyday videos. I'm committed to doing it, but I'm not. I hate it so much. I hate it.
I got 2 new clients off of videos.
Good.
And that's the only reason why is consistent. And they reached out to me because they're like, hey, we've been watching all of your videos.
Oh. Sellers or buyers?
They've been very informative and educational, and because of that, we want you to help. We want you to help us buy a home. They called me. They reached out to me because I attracted them through a video.
Okay.
Come list me calls or come help me buy a house calls. New video? Oh my God, I'll do it all day. and videos are like barely 2 minutes.
Mine are like 30 seconds.
Yeah, I just did the one the other day where it was a buyer asked me, why does it take so long to close on a house? And I just did a video talking about all the moving parts and all the different things that gotta happen throughout the transaction. And I talked about if you work with the right realtor who knows how to manage all the deadlines, there's no reason why you can't close the home within 30 to 45 days. Closings that are 60 days or longer, that's typically because deadlines or things that need to get done that get missed. In my video I talked about how I keep in contact with the lender and the other agent to make sure everything's going smoothly, so if there is anything that's needed, we can make sure that's done so we can keep this transaction moving forward as fast as possible.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I got one of my buyers from, is that particular video.
Mm-hmm.
Because they've heard some of the nightmare stories of closings.
Mm-hmm.
And I talked about how not to have that happen. So they do work.
Okay.
I do. I know.
Okay.
That's just the biggest thing. You just got to be consistent, because the more, if someone watches your video and they like it and they feel like it impacted them, they're going to start seeking out any other ones that you might have. But if they only find one, you have nothing to further try to build upon with them.
Okay.
So your first video is impacting them to seek out to see if you have any others. And through them seeking out to see if you have any others, they learn, oh my God, she's got more educational stuff for me. I'm going to watch these. I've learned so much from her already, and I haven't even met her yet. Now I'm going to give her a call so I can learn some more and have her help me buy a house.
Mm-hmm.
That's the attraction portion of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the great thing about video in the end is it helps you eliminate the people you don't want to work with.
Mm-hmm.
Because your personality comes out in a video, right?
Yeah.
See you. So if you're like a naturally bubbly person, super excited, always smiles, and you're excited person, who are you going to attract?
People like that, like you.
Exactly. If you got some tightwad who is very strict and he's just a jerk in general, you think he's going to call you?
No.
Probably not. He's like, I'm not working with her. She'll drive me nuts.
Right.
But you're going to be like, thank God, because I don't want to work with anybody like that.
Yeah.
Because he'll just ruin my day.
Yeah.
So,
I can adapt. Like when I'm meeting my clients, like if I do have a bubbly client, then I know to kick it up a notch. If I have somebody that's more serious and doesn't like to joke around, like I can kind of adapt to them.
Mm-hmm.
I play off them.
But if you can be yourself on every single transaction when you're ready to be there.
Absolutely.
Video helps you achieve that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
We're slowly helping you feel more comfortable. That's my goal. That's just, I know you're not going to do them every day yet, but the more we talk about it, the more comfortable you'll get. The more you start doing them, the more comfortable you'll get. Eventually, you'll be calling me saying, Charles, man, I recorded 15 videos this week. I love it.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
I had a student who's worse than you in the video.
I don't know about that.
No,
Okay.
I do. I have one that refused to do them 100%. I'm never going to do a video. I don't care what you tell me.
Right.
And they're now doing them every single day.
Oh, that's crazy.
They now love doing it. You know why?
Because they're getting business from it.
Exactly. And it's people contacting them. And not you contacting the other way around. Remember, I'm not chasing commission.
Commission's chasing me. Yeah.
That's what's happening.
We get it. Mm-hmm.
When they start chasing you, you're like, oh my God, I got money growing on trees now.
That'd be great.
But the thing is, when you're not chasing commissions, it doesn't. You're no longer coming off as like maybe an act of desperation or anything like that, right? You tend to start being more natural. You start being your more self. You don't care if you lose a deal, right? Because you know more people are coming.
I'm not there yet.
You'll get there. I know that.
I'm not there yet. Like, I'm already stressing. I don't know if I'm gonna get my next award for, next year. Like, I got the Ruby Award. Like, I'm like thinking, I don't think I'm gonna make it.
That's negative feelings, right? You can't have negative thoughts. You remember the thing about here's the thing is, if you can say, hey, my goal is Centurion, I'm going to reach that goal.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You don't have that negative thought, I don't know if I'm going to reach it. You can say, no matter what, I'm going to reach that goal. You can put a big sign and think where you're at, where you need to get to reach that goal, right? If it's, what is it for Centurion in Century 21 right now? I know it goes up every year.
250,000.
Okay, so 250,000 gross commissions.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you at now?
I don't know. It's on my spreadsheet.
Okay, so you should always know that number every single time. So like when
I could pull it up. I could. I don't
know that number in your head because you should always know I'm at this, right? Where you can easily say, anytime someone asks you without looking up, you say, I know for sure I'm at 150,000, right? Or I'm at 90,000, whatever it might be.
I feel like it's like almost 4 million or something, 400,000 or 4 million maybe. I don't know.
4 million in volume so far this year.
I think so.
Okay, that's pretty good for half the year. So
I could pull it up right now and figure it out.
Let's see it.
All right. Can you see what I'm doing?
Oh, you have to do you can do a screen share if you want, or just tell me what's on the spreadsheet. It's okay.
Okay, I'll tell you. I'm just pulling it up. Okay, so sales. How do you want me to say this? Like the purchase price or the commission that I brought in?
I just give me the total volume of what you closed.
Okay. So all the commissions I brought in before all the splits was 62,970.
Okay. And then how much you have pending?
Oh. I don't have that figured out.
Okay. So
I don't have that figured out.
Okay, so here's the thing. So okay, so if you got 62,000, that's your gross commission so far, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
so
that's when they give me the commission check at the table and I hand it to my broker. That's what I bring in.
That's what Centurion is. It's the gross commission you go by total. Not it's the rewards are based on before splits.
Okay.
With Century 21. So now if you're at 62,000, we're going to do 250,000 minus 62,000, right? So you got 188,000 to go. So now you only have 188,000 to go. Doing open houses more than ever and meeting new people is going to be more important than ever, right?
Yeah.
Here's the thing about remember what open house is. Also leverage that open house by circle prospecting that neighborhood.
Yeah.
Because it gives you an opportunity to meet more people who you can turn into potential sellers, right?
Yeah.
Especially if it's another agent's listing who doesn't leverage their own listings, you're going to leverage their listings against them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your business. Expire listings. Following up with your B's and C's and keep adding to your database, reaching out to your past clients as well, right?
Yeah.
Who do you know who's looking to buy or sell real estate in the next 90 days?
Yeah.
Looking for potential inventory for your buyers that are not listed in the market. So that's already 7 major activities that you can do to keep your business going. And the thing is to actually do it consistently, right?
Yes.
And you're going to keep learning and learning and learning, right?
Yeah.
But more importantly than anything, if you want to stay relevant in the real estate business, especially next year with consumer behavior leaning towards video, remember that consumer behavior is leaning towards agents who do more video.
Okay.
All about staying relevant, right? So with all these other agents who are sitting back wondering why their business is going down and yours is going up, it's because of video, not just all these other things are great to continue to build your business, but the agents who do more video are going to be the most successful. Jared's been talking about that for 6 months to a year now. Because he watches behavior and what people are doing.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I have for today.
Okay.
So for sale by owners, work those the way with the script. I will send you out everything. I got another coaching call right after. So as soon as that call's done, I'll send you out everything.
Okay, thank you. And then the spreadsheet, I was having issues entering my values. I was moving the columns over, but it
Let me show you how to do that real quick. Good thing you reminded me that. Almost forgot about that one. So when you see those pound signs like that, that's just because the column's too small. If you see how up here at the top, where you got these letters?
Yes.
So you got to extend right here. So if you put your over the line and then you start to move it, it'll expand the field.
Okay. Yep, I was expanding it from a different area. Got it.
So right here from the top is where you expand it.
Okay.
Yep, and then it'll show. Only reason why it shows pound because the fields are not big enough to show the whole field.
Okay.
That's all that is. That's just a typical Excel thing. So when you save it, when you come back in there, it'll be back to the exact same size as it was before.
It's going to be. I just got to keep moving it.
Exactly. So, so don't worry. So once the numbers are in there, they're in there the way you wrote it. If you want to see what's actually there, all you do is expand it that way. Okay.
And when do you want me to get this done? Because this is a lot.
No, I don't. Here's the thing: is there a true timetable in that? No. No. Am I going to allow you to take 3 months to do it? No. But as long as you're consistently working on it, even if it takes you 3 or 4 weeks, I'm okay with that. But as long as you really work on it, because I want those numbers to reflect truly what you're doing.
Okay.
So don't rush that.
Okay.
That's one document I want you to take the most amount of time on because I want it to be as accurate as possible.
Okay.
Okay?
Fair enough.
Okay. Because our goal is to get you to a proper budget so you can grow.
Absolutely.
Okay. So we're already scheduled for our next call.
Yep.
Definitely let me know how the for sale by owner stuff goes once you start doing the scripts that way. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to call a FSBO today once I get that script. So.
Awesome. Perfect. Well, let me know if you need anything in the meantime, and then we'll talk in a couple weeks. Yeah,
just that guidebook on sellers.
Yes, I'm going to send you that as well. So I'm going to send you the FSBO script, that buyer letter script, and my buyer script.
Perfect.
Not my seller's staging guide.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, have a good day.